Welcome to Please Me, the award-winning bilingual sexuality podcast bringing you bold conversations and big lit energy. As a female host in a male-dominated industry, I'm thrilled to announce that Please Me is the #1 ranked sexuality podcast in the USA and worldwide, covering topics on sexual health, intimacy, and sexual empowerment. I'm Eve, your host, on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Join me and my guests as we dive into conversations around orgasm equality, self-love, body positivity, and essential sex education. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. Last week, I sat down with Miss Marla Renee Stewart, a certified sexologist who's on a mission to bring sexy back to sex education. Her company, Velvet Lips, helps people go from a ho-hum sex life to deeper pleasure, confidence, and connection. So if you missed that episode, go back and listen. Today, I'm diving into something I've shared before but never dedicated a full episode to, the Sexual Longevity Protocol, my private client blueprint for lifelong sexual pleasure. The most important part? You don't have to be a private client to benefit from this. I use it in my practice to help prevent and improve common issues like erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, penile atrophy, decreased vaginal sensitivity, and dryness. These conditions are incredibly common but largely preventable, and this protocol shows you exactly how. Want to ask a question for the Please Me podcast? Join the conversation on Patreon or subscribe to my Substack newsletter for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes updates, and a chance to have your questions featured on the show. You can also join the Please Me Health Collective on SDC.com, the world's premier ethically non-monogamous platform for swingers, polyfolks, and more. Use code 37340 for a free trial membership and access to my growing community, including free monthly webinars. Please also follow me on Instagram at Please Me by Eve Creations. Please Me is for mature audiences, so sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me. Ladies, let's get personal for a minute. What does your vaginal health routine look like? Because as we mature, our intimate self-care needs an upgrade. If hormone shifts have you feeling dry, less sensitive, or just not quite like yourself, I've got a simple 3-step protocol I'm loving. Every morning I use my lady pump to increase blood flow and wake up the lady bits. And yes, it comes with 3 attachments for all the sensations. Then I apply Shamelessly Aroused by Shameless Care, formulated with sildenafil, the active ingredient used in Viagra, to support stronger arousal, better lubrication, and more responsive orgasms. Pair that with a daily self-love ritual, and you've got a powerful daytime combo. At night, I use Parlor Game's estrogen and progesterone creams to support healthy hormone levels and resilient vaginal tissue. Fewer oops moments when I sneeze, and way more confidence when intimacy calls. Dryness, decreased sensitivity, frequent UTIs, incontinence, low blood flow? These 3 upgrades can be a total game changer because intimate health isn't indulgent. It's essential. And trust me, you'll feel the difference. Hello, and welcome to Please Me, the podcast that aims to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health by turning the sheets into our classroom. Today, I am so excited to tell you about something that I've been working on for quite a while now. It is called the Sexual Longevity Protocol, the private client blueprint for lifelong sexual pleasure. And I'm so excited to introduce this to you today. Most people think that decline is inevitable, that sensitivity fades, that erections weaken, that vaginal dryness becomes normal, and that pleasure slowly fades with age. But in clinical practice, that's not actually what I see. What I see every single day with my patients is something much simpler and much more hopeful. Sexual tissue follows a simple biological rule: use it or lose it. I've spoken about this many times before. Just like muscles, just like joints, just like circulation, sexual tissue depends on stimulation and blood flow to stay healthy. And when it's supported properly, people can experience incredible improvements in their sexual function at any age. That's exactly why I created something called the Sexual Longevity Protocol. It is the same blueprint I share with my private clients in my practice, and today I want to introduce it to you. I'm not going to give you the protocol in this episode, but I do want to explain why sexual longevity matters and why so many people are quietly losing their sexual function without realizing it. The hidden problem is that sexual function declines, and it's a vascular health issue. Your genitals are made of erectile tissue that depend on healthy blood flow to function properly. And without the circulation, it will decrease. When circulation decreases, the tissue doesn't have enough oxygen and nutrients. And over time, this leads to a loss in function. So for women, it can look like vaginal dryness, it can look like decreased sensitivity, it can look like painful sex, painful intercourse, or even painful sex when you are self pleasuring by introducing a dildo. It also can look like difficulty reaching an orgasm and vaginal atrophy. Vaginal atrophy is extremely common, and especially during hormonal changes like perimenopause and menopause, but it can simply happen from a lack of stimulation and a lack of blood flow. The tissues become thinner and less responsive. And men experience very similar changes. For men, decreased circulation shows up as erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, difficulty maintaining erections, reduced firmness, decreased sensitivity, and there's another piece that almost nobody talks about: penile shrinkage. Men can lose up to 20% of their penis size over time if the tissue does not regularly get oxygenated and have proper nutrition and healthy blood flow. The tissue literally shrinks due to lack of circulation and stimulation. And women will experience the same biological process with vaginal atrophy. Again, the rule is simple: use it or lose it. And this is not about shaming anybody about their sex lives or lack thereof, right? It's a biological issue. And biology responds incredibly well when we start to support the body the way it is designed to function. And this is what I see in my practice. Many people first find my practice because they are looking for help with either erectile dysfunction or the female equivalent, which is decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness. And one of the treatments that I offer is acoustic wave therapy. And I have talked about this treatment in the past. I will explain it here. Acoustic wave therapy is a treatment that is the gold standard treatment for erectile dysfunction, where the treatment itself is like ultrasound wand, very similar to that. Gel is placed on the tissue, and then the wand is moved over the genital area and surrounding tissue. And what it does is it unblocks the blockages in the blood vessels in and around the genitalia, because over time, our blood vessels can develop blockages in them. And because the blood vessels in the genital area are smaller than the blood vessels near our heart, these blockages can actually be come first before people may have heart conditions, right? The blood vessels in and around the genitalia are very small. And so they become blocked much quicker than, say, the blood vessels in our heart. And so you will start to see symptoms of erectile function or vaginal issues that I mentioned before sooner than you will find issues in your heart. And so sometimes these issues can be a sign that somebody has a heart condition or may develop a heart condition in the long run. So oftentimes I will send my clients, depending on the host of other things that we talk about on our first session and the initial evaluation, I will send them to a cardiologist to make sure that their heart is healthy. But there's something else that I noticed very quickly, and the treatment helps a lot, but most patients get the best results when they follow the home exercise program. And if you've ever gone to physical therapy, you know that physical therapists love a good home exercise program. And I am no different. And so I share the sexual longevity protocol with my clients. This is actually the homework that they get to use in conjunction with the acoustic wave therapy treatments that I give them in the practice. And what I find is that when people do both things together, right? They're following the protocol at home and they're getting the treatment. All of that together in conjunction makes for faster recovery. So, as a physical therapist, we love to give exercises as homework. We love to give habits. We love to give protocols. And this is no different because progress doesn't just happen in the clinic, it happens with daily follow through. So, the patients who take their home exercises seriously heal faster. They build strength more quickly, they maintain their results long after treatment ends. So, sexual health works exactly the same way. Your body responds to consistent stimulation, circulation, and care. So, I started giving my patients a structured protocol that they could follow between sessions to support their sexual health. And over time, I realized something important. This system was helping people so much that it shouldn't only exist inside my private practice. So I turned it into a course. And so today I'm introducing that 3-module course to you. And it is called the Sexual Longevity Protocol. And it is basically the homework that I give my female and male clients in order to help them transition from having sexual dysfunction to sexual function. Each module is under an hour long and it focuses on different things, and it can be used as quickly or as slowly as you want to go. Inside the program, you'll also receive a daily progress tracker that helps you to keep tabs on how you're feeling each day and the improvements you're experiencing over time. And so tracking your progress is so powerful because it helps you to stay consistent, and it also helps you to see the changes that are happening in your body. And sometimes those changes are very small. So for instance, if a man is coming to see me with erectile dysfunction and he reports that he doesn't always have quote unquote morning wood, well, then I would ask him to track that quote unquote morning wood or morning erections, right? To see if that improves over time. So, what we do see in practice is that someone that may not be experiencing morning wood all the time will then start to experience it on a daily basis. So, this is progress in the right direction, right? But then we look at the quality of the morning wood. How long does it last? Does it last 30 seconds? Does it last 2 minutes? And then we can track over time if it's lasting longer. And so tracking your progress is so important so that you can see the progress that you're making and see the changes that are happening in your body. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the different modules. Module number 1 is the Women's Sexual Longevity Protocol, and it is something that I call women's sexual health hacks, right? Things that we can do to really hack our sexual function and improve it quickly over time. This first module focuses on women's sexual health and the special needs of vaginal and pelvic tissue. We talk about vaginal atrophy, dryness, loss of sensitivity, pelvic circulation, and why stimulation and blood flow are essential for maintaining healthy tissue. And I walk you through the same framework and supportive strategies that I give my female patients to maintain healthy, responsive sexual tissue and improve overall sexual function. In Module 2, I talk about men's sexual longevity or men's sexual health hacks. And the second module focuses on specifically men and their erectile function or dysfunction, premature ejaculation, loss of firmness, reduced sensitivity, and penile shrinkage. And most importantly, we talk about circulation and why blood flow is absolutely essential for normal penile health. The third module talks about sexual safety and something that a lot of times people don't talk about, which is the nervous system and regulation of the nervous system. This module is especially important for those people who are dating, exploring new partners, and maybe not in an exclusive relationship or an exclusive monogamous relationship, where they may be needing to talk more openly about STI testing and its limitations. We also talk about how to approach conversations about sexual safety. We talk about what to do if something goes wrong in the bedroom and how to handle those unwanted exposures or issues that can happen during sexual experiences, like a broken condom or oral sex, without protection. All of these things are essential to have discussions about. But another thing that the module 3 talks about is something that I think is super important and essential for pleasure, and that is your nervous system, right? Pleasure responds to being safe, right? It is a requirement of pleasure that you feel safe in your body. And if your nervous system is stressed, if you're distracted or anxious, if you are dysregulated because you are not talking about the things that you feel you need to be talking about before you move into the bedroom, that's going to make your nervous system on higher alert. And so we want to make sure that our nervous system is fully regulated and you feel safe in order to fully enjoy pleasure. The missing ingredient, I think, in most sex lives is that many people think their problem is physical. And yes, often it is a physical function, right? But it also can be a nervous system issue, right? So if your mind is somewhere else, if you're thinking about work, if you're thinking about your to-do list, which can happen, right? If you're also thinking about your performance, right? That can also cause nervous system dysregulation, or thinking whether or not you look good from that angle, right? Also can cause nervous system dysregulation when we really need presence. What we need with pleasure is to be present in our bodies. And presence requires a calm, regulated nervous system.
Ladies, whether you are just starting your menopause journey or well into it and have questions about hormone replacement therapy, you're not alone. Many women experience vaginal dryness, decreased sensitivity, and urinary incontinence, like leaking when you sneeze, laugh, or exercise. These symptoms can be frustrating and limiting, but they are also very treatable. I experienced this myself and decided to try Parlor Game's topical estrogen and progesterone creams. Within 1 month of consistent use, my incontinence completely resolved. Topical estrogen helps restore tissue health, improve sensitivity, and support bladder control, while topical progesterone supports hormonal balance. If you are ready to stop suffering in silence, check the show notes for the link to Silky Peach, the topical estrogen cream, and Vibrant Third, the topical progesterone cream. I feel relieved and confident again, and I know you can too. If you've ever wished sex could feel more connected, more intense, or honestly just more fun, you need to check out Shameless Care. They're a telemedicine company built entirely around sexual health, real doctors, real prescriptions, and products that actually work. Like Shameless Chemistry, their oxytocin plus tadalafil blend that deepens connection and boosts arousal. Or Shamelessly Aroused, a topical cream with the active ingredient found in men's ED medication, increasing blood flow exactly where it counts. Every order includes a short video introduction from your doctor, transparent pricing, and no subscriptions ever. Just real, sex-positive healthcare that delivers results. Because you're a Please Me listener, you can use coupon code PLEASEME for $15 off your order of any product on the Shameless Care website. Use the code PLEASEME, that's PLEASEME, at checkout to claim your $15 off. Again, that's shamelesscare.com, code PLEASEME. Because great sex shouldn't be complicated. It should be shameless. This episode is sponsored by Shameless Care.
Your little one grew 3 inches overnight. Adorable. Also, expensive. sell their pint-sized pieces on Depop and list them in minutes with no selling fees. Because somewhere, a dad refuses to pay full price for the clothes his kids will outgrow tomorrow. And he's ready to buy your son's entire wardrobe right now. Consider your future growth spurt budget secured. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste. Payment processing fees and boosting fees still apply. See website for details.
The problem with radio is we can't show you our new box packed with a KFC snacker, 5 nuggets, fries, and a drink for just $7. So you'll just have to trust us when we say the crispy golden fried breading will make your mouth water. You'll have to trust us when we say this is a ridiculous amount of chicken for such a small price. And you'll have to really trust us when we insist that, yes, it really is only $7. $7 box feast from KFC. Trust us, it's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees extra.
That's why I created something special to go along with the protocol. It's called the 30-day self-pleasure and reconnection practices. And inside the protocol, you will receive the 30-day self-pleasure and reconnection practices. It is basically a list of each day, a different idea for self-pleasure. And it is designed to help you reconnect with your body and focus on that presence, right? That getting into your body, that feeling grounded, that feeling in your body and confident, right? And so it's also available on my website for free. Every day offers a new practice designed to help you reconnect with your body, not just sexually, but also sensually. These practices help you build body awareness. They help you regulate your nervous system. They help you to slow down and explore pleasure without pressure. Because when you reconnect with your body, pleasure becomes much easier to access. So my invitation to you is that if you want access to the same system I share with my private clients, you can get the sexual longevity protocol today. I'm going to pop up the link here, and I will definitely also include it in my show notes as well. I want to just talk a little bit about the pricing because I specifically priced this at a very reasonable price because what I really want for all of my listeners is to have the most amazing sex lives possible. And this is something that I'm really passionate about, and I've said it many times, right? So for only $47, you can own the 3-module course. If you want to also have coaching involved, you can buy the tier 2, which is $297. And that also includes one coaching session with me. My coaching sessions normally cost $350 per session. So the $297 is an incredible value. It includes the protocol and one coaching session with me to give you personalized guidance, because we all need sometimes a little extra support, right? And so I want to just close with a story. Not too long ago, a patient came to my practice feeling defeated because he told me that he felt like his body was betraying him. He told me that his erections were not reliable anymore, and his sex had started to feel stressful instead of pleasurable. The anxiety from the lack of performance was really doing a number on his mind, right? And he was worried that his partner would eventually lose interest or leave him. And this is something that I think a lot of men experience over time, right? And so he just assumed that it was part of getting older, but we started talking about the protocol and we started talking about the erectile function and how it works and the acoustic wave therapy and how it can benefit him. And after 5 visits, and this blows me away because this happens over and over again with my clients. After his 5th visit, we had determined in his initial evaluation that his erectile dysfunction was in the moderate stage. So I recommended 14 visits, and he was on visit number 5. When he came in that day, he had a big smile on his face. he told me that he had been able to have sex twice that week, which I was so excited for him about. I really enjoy helping people with gaining that sexual function back and improving their confidence. He said, I feel like I'm alive again, like I'm new, like I haven't felt this way in a long time. And I'm so like enthusiastic about life. And sexual function is a direct connection to our happiness. When we are able to experience pleasure in our bodies and able to release with an orgasm, that has such an incredible effect on our affect, on our happiness, on our emotional state. And it helps to release all those amazing neurochemicals in our bodies that help us to feel good. So it really is a direct connection to happiness. So, most importantly, he started supporting his body outside of the clinic, and he was an amazing student. He literally did every single part of the protocol. And I am so proud to say that he is continuing to make progress each week. We see changes every week, and he's doing a phenomenal job. And I know that this protocol can also help other people out there. So this is why I am also offering a 30-day self-pleasure and body reconnection practices that I mentioned before. It is also part of the protocol, but I also offer it as a freebie on my website, and I'm going to pop up the link here, and we'll also include it in the show notes. This 30-day self-pleasure practices is a place to start. You can start by doing this every day for 30 days and tracking your progress. At the end, there's also a questionnaire that shows what the progress is before and after. So I suggest that you do all of it so that you can really see the progress that you've made. And if you're not ready for the protocol yet, this is where I would start with the 30-day self-pleasure and body reconnection practices. And if you are ready for the protocol, again, I will link it in the show notes below. I want to thank you for listening today. I am very excited about this protocol because I do think that it is going to help people that are listening out there that are suffering with erectile dysfunction, decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness, and other sexual health conditions to really help them to reverse those issues and to have the most amazing sex lives of their life. Thank you for listening today, and I will see you next time.
Are you looking for a sexy date? Look no further than SDC.com. SDC.com is the premier ethically non-monogamous website that is worldwide. It also hosts a wealth of information on sexuality and sexual health, and I host a free live webinar monthly on the site. You can use code 37340 for a free trial membership on me, and be sure to reach out on the site and say hello.
I want to personally invite you to join me on Patreon for ad-free listening, bonus episodes, and early releases. Already there is a lot of bonus content on there with many webinars that I've done in the past and a show that I've never released to the public before. My show is completely self-funded, and when you are able to support me in this way, I'm able to spread my message of body positivity, self-love, and women's empowerment, and empowerment in general around sexuality around the globe. And so with that being said, I appreciate everyone who has already joined Patreon, and if you've thought about joining, now's your nudge to do so.